Nested if functions allow you to have more than one condition. So in this example, we want to fill this column with either flight full, overbooked, or space available based on the total seats available and the seats sold. That should give us our answer. So all our functions start with an equal, and we're going to do if and double click to get our function started. This column was already formatted in red, that's why this is coming out red. So if the total seats available equal the seats sold, we type a comma, then the true answer is going to be the flight is full. And when we're using words, we need to put them in quotation marks. If you were using numbers for your answer, you would not. If you were using true or false, those are the defaults, you would not need quotes either. Let's start our next condition, comma, if the total seats available are less than the seats sold, and I ran out of room here, so I'm going to type in the cell number C3, comma, then the flight is overbooked, right? Quotation mark, overbooked, quotation mark. And then otherwise, so if flight full is not true and overbooked is not true, then the last thing that it can be, no matter what, is space available. So one more comma, and then our answer. And let's see if that worked. Oh, and I need two, I'm going to open this up a little bit. So why I got that error message, I forgot to put another closing parenthesis here. So we have two if functions and we need two closing parentheses to show that. And then we can copy this down. Because we have these words here, another way to do the exact same thing would be to use these cell references instead of typing in the words, which would be actually a little bit easier to do, right? Equals if the total seats are equal to the ones sold, comma, then we can just click right here in this cell. And because I'm going to copy this down, I'm going to make sure this cell is absolute cell reference, so it always comes back here. Our next if the seats available are less than the seats sold, comma, then we're overbooked, right? Absolute cell reference. If neither of those are true, then there must be space available. Again, we need to use absolute cell reference. Two closing parentheses for our two if functions. And it looks like it's going to match up. Here we go. Now, if we want to count how many flights are full, how many are overbooked, and how many have space available, we can use a COUNTIF function. Equals COUNTIF, and we're going to look at the whole range, right? We want to see count here. And my criteria, I could put it in quotation marks, flight full, right? Or I could just click there and close it. I'm going to come back here though, actually. I'm going to select my range and use absolute cell reference so that I can copy this down. I'll put my closing parenthesis here. So there's 3 full flights. And now if I copy this down, 4 overbooked and 8 with space available. So I use absolute cell reference for my range. It's always looking at my range, right? But I use relative cell reference for these guys right here because when I copied it down, I wanted it to look at this cell and then I wanted it to look at this cell. So that's just a little practice with our COUNTIFs, and this skill will definitely be on your assessment.